Good day, everyone. We are the Group 5 of BSTMD 2021. I am Hannah Joy R. Balugay, and today we will be discussing about the tourism interpretation on World Heritage Sites. The technique of entertaining tourists while also educating them about the World Heritage Sites they visit is known as tourism interpretation. It enables tourists or visitors to learn about the historical background of a particular location. It also helps travelers have a better time by imparting symbolic significance to them and encouraging adjustments to their attitudes and behaviors. And because of this, it serves as the essential element in creating mental and emotional bonds between tourists and a certain location. Through these encounters, visitors can gain a deeper understanding of the environment, inhabitants, and culture. They feel more at ease as they grow to appreciate the surroundings more. In tourism, interpretation aims to get the narrative right in order to convey the right themes with the least amount of misunderstanding, falsification, and assumption. The goal of interpretation in World Heritage Sites is to improve and enrich the visitor experience by helping site visitors understand the significance of the place they are visiting and connecting those meanings to visitors' own personal lives.
Churches in the Philippines has been part of the tourism. In fact, we have a tradition called Visita Iglesia. It is one of the most sacred vows of Filipino Catholics. Families are often traveled to visit the churches far from their place, which has become a form of family bonding.
Four Baroque churches in the Philippines are recognized as World Heritage Sites: Immaculate Conception Church, more popularly known as San Agustin Church in Intramuros, Manila; Nuestra Señora Church in Santa Maria, Ilocos, San Agustin Church in Paway, Ilocos Norte, and the only one in Visayas, Santo Tomas Church in Miagao, Iloilo. All these churches have a massive fortress-like appearance, and they were built between the 16th and 18th centuries. The churches in Paway, Santa Maria, and Maghaw parked like gigantic with their passage photographer's dream. Its look so grand, you wonder how Filipinos were able to construct it during the Spanish era. Mendoza says about Paway Church in particular. Even church also has distinctive features. Santo Tomas Church in Miagao has reliefs of saints and sceneries depicting local life in its facade. Immaculate Conception Church in Manila, meanwhile, has ceiling paint that looks 3D and optical illusion common in Baroque architecture. So, go and take in the grand, elaborate architecture of our country's Baroque churches, a cultural heritage from both Philippines and Spain.
Good day to each and everyone. My name is Marlene Antisa Cambatinero, and now I'm going to explain the historic site of Bigan. So Bigan is the most intact example in Asia of a planned Spanish colonial town. It established in the 16th century. So the urban plan of the town closely conforms with the Renaissance grid plan specified in the Ley de las Indias for all new towns in the Spanish Empire. There is, however, a noticeable difference between Bigan and contemporary Spanish colonial towns in Latin America and the historic core, known as the Mestizo district, where the Latin tradition is tempered by strong Chinese, Ilocano, and Filipino influences. The architecture reflects the coming together of cultural elements from elsewhere in the Philippines and from China with those of Europe and Mexico to create a unique culture and townscape without parallels anywhere in East and Southeast Asia. And Bigan was listed by UNESCO as the best preserved example of Spanish colonial towns in Asia. Its architecture is a conglomeration of cultural elements from the Philippines, China, and Spain.
Good day everyone, I am Mary Grace Enriquez Abinido. I'm here now to continue the explanation about the historic city of Vigan. Vigan has maintained its authenticity and its grid street pattern, historic urban layout, and use of open spaces. The historic buildings have maintained their traditional uses for commerce at the lower floors and as residence for the owners on the upper floors. However, very few houses remain untouched. After having been completely altered to allow new uses, many structures have lost their authenticity. A few structures have been abandoned, neglected, and left to decay. The original building materials such as bricks, wood, scapis, and lime for mortar and plaster were all obtained from surrounding areas. The lack of traditional building materials such as woods and lime for plaster and mortar has resulted in the use of modern materials such as cement and galvanized iron sheets for roofing. The awareness on the needs to preserve the authenticity has dramatically increased since the site was inscribed.
And now, I am Princess Diana Lidister Asuncion, and I am discussing about tourism interpretation on World Heritage Site in Rice Terrace of the Philippine Cordilleras. A prime example of a developed living cultural landscape that dates back as long as 2 millennia in the pre-colonial Philippines is the Rice Terrace of the Philippine Cordilleras. The terraces are situated on the northern island of Luzon in the Philippine Archipelago, rugged Philippine Cordillera Mountain region. Although the ancient terraces are spread out across a large area. The incredible property is made up of 5 groups of the most impressive and complete terraces, which are spread over 4 municipalities. They are all the offspring of the Ifugao ethnic group, a small population that has lived here in the highland for a very long time. The perfect fusion of the physical, socio-cultural, economic, religious, and political environment is exemplified by the Ifugao Rice Terrace. The large area of terrace required a large agricultural labor, which is limited by rural to urban migration patterns.
Interpretation in the tourism industry refers to the process of providing visitors with an engaging narrative about the area's historical and natural attractions. The success of a destination's historical tourism industry is tied to its history and curiosity and openness of its visitors. Interpretation is an effective means of spreading information about cultural resources and attracting the attention of tourists. Every day, millions of people from all over the globe go to the World Heritage Sites. Without adequate directions, they pose a threat to the sites and their environments. Inadequate information, sharing about the legacy, and its importance to mankind is a primary danger to heritage sites in terms of tourist awareness and sustainable development.